It's time for Go Big Blue with Blue Eagle head football coach Andrew Williams and your host David Jennings. Join us for a recap of last week's game and a preview of this week's matchup as we bring you the latest on Blue Eagle football every Thursday at 8 p.m. throughout the season. We encourage you to comment and take part of the show and show your support for the Blue Eagles. And now, Go Big Blue.
Another airing of Go Big Blue. I am David Jennings, and for the next hour, we will take a look back at last week's exciting win in the Battle of Murder Creek over rival T.R. Miller, and of course preview tomorrow night's opening round opponent in the playoffs, Munford. Joining me as always, the star of our show, head football coach Andrew Williams. Coach, good to see you again this week.
Glad to be here this week.
Want to quickly take care of those that take care of us, and want to recognize this show's sponsors that have been so diligent throughout the year supporting Go Big Blue, and like to recognize them here just real quick if we can. Fred's Department Store with Peggy Booker, Shara Lawn Care with Michael Shara, Northside Tire and Garage, Wesley Finley, Bruton Mill Federal Credit Union, Linda Williamson, James Furniture with Jesse Rigby, the City of East Bruton, Mayor Terry Clark and the City Council, Holmes Pest Control, JoJo Holmes, Encore Rehabilitation, Tommy Thompson Trucking, Lucas Tire and Welding, Terry Lucas, Weavers on the Boardwalk, Andrew and Jenny Clark, Camp 31, our host site here tonight with Larry Murphy, Horton's Insurance, Keith Horton, Trustmark Bank, Williams Memorial Chapel, Mike and Michael Williams, United Bank with Lauren Yoder, LA Party Rentals, Dwayne and Amber Graves, South Alabama Kubota Rental there in Monroeville, Daniel Sawyer, David's Catfish with Josh Godwin, and Timberline Homes, Winston Lindsay. Thanks to each and every one of the sponsors that have made this program possible throughout the week. And Coach, we say it each and every week, but I don't think we can say it enough. It's that community sport, and in this case, these particular sponsors that step up and support the program, help us to promote it. And I know I speak for you and say we appreciate all that.
You're right, and we thank our sponsors and just everyone that plays a role in making our program here go. Ken for being the orchestrator of all this technology that we're looking at here. But, you know, our sponsors is what make us go, and we want to thank them each and every week.
Certainly want to thank Ken, the executive producer here at Boss Man Productions, for all that he does each and every week. And, of course, last week was especially exciting. We had the kickoff show there on Thursday night on the bridge. I think everybody enjoyed that. That was a pretty neat setup, pretty special venue to kind of get that Battle of Murder Creek started. And I think that kind of kick-started this into an exciting game on Friday. The stadium was absolutely electric. Everybody played a part. The fans really turned out for both sides. The bands put on an incredible show. We were proud to stream it, you know, to those that couldn't get there. But it was really electric night there inside the stadium, Coach.
It was. And I'll back up to what you said about on the bridge. We need to do some history or some research and find out, has any other show ever been done on a bridge before a radio show? My guess is probably no.
I would think no, and of course this being logging country, I don't know how smart it was to get out on top of a bridge with all the logging trucks we have coming going through town, but it was a lot of fun. It's a pretty neat setup.
I enjoyed every bit of it. I think everybody that came out enjoyed it, and you know, we just had a good time with it. I enjoyed seeing the older guys that came up that's been involved in you know, this tradition of T.R. Miller versus WSN rivalry or the Battle of Murder Creek, and those guys seem adamant about what they were there to do and support and what they were doing, and you know, just a great rivalry, you know, great atmosphere.
Really is, and of course we're going to have a great show here tonight, have a couple of added features we're going to have in the night's program that have not been able to have in the past. Going to have a very special guest with us a little bit later. Senior drum major Trent Eichner is going to be with us. That's going to be a lot of fun. I know folks are going to sit around and watch as we get to visit with him. I'm looking forward to spending some time with him, I can tell you that. And also wanting to take the opportunity to recognize a couple of students there at school that helped us with last week's broadcast. For those of you that watched it on the stream, we had several different camera angles, and those camera angles were possible because of some volunteer help from the student body, and wanted to recognize them. I can't say enough what they did in terms of stepping up. Kelly Grace helped identify the volunteers for, but wanted to recognize them by name and grade. And I hope I have this right. First, two young ladies, Rebecca Dice and Americus Madden, both juniors there at WSN, and then two young men, Brian Wiggins, a freshman, and Issachar Watson, a senior, also good enough to help us. And the job they did with no production meeting, no formal training, I thought really went above and beyond, and we've had some good response from the broadcast in terms of the camera angles. And Ken was, of course, there working the board, making sure who was hot and who wasn't. But a big thank you to those kids for volunteering their time and making the Battle of Murder Creek, the 2017 edition, a little extra special.
Oh yeah, that's good to have kids to get involved, and then I think it's educational for them as well. To get out and have the opportunity to film and be a part of it and see it after the fact. It's real good for our kids to get that opportunity.
Well, then of course we broke in the new PA system, which I think got rave reviews from the visiting fans as well as the homestanding fans. Audio Plus, I think, finished the install that Friday about lunch with the sound checks or whatnot. I thought that also added to the game day environment, and I think it was well received by all the people in attendance at Friday night's game. I
guarantee you it was. I've had 2 or 3 people mention to me about how great it sounded, as well as our announcer for our games. They sort of, who's the new announcer? They was thinking that we had a new announcer, but he was the same announcer that we've been had. But that system sort of helped supplement, him speaking on the mic. For the most part, I don't get a chance to hear him a lot, but people were very, congratulative of him doing a great job or whatever, and I said he's been doing a great job all year. So
did very good, no doubt about that. He was an added part of the game day atmosphere as we spoke of, and one of the things, Coach, and we're going to hit on a little bit later when we have Trent here, the viewership. Of course, we said over and over again the place to watch that game was going to be inside the stadium, and the fans really turned out. It was to capacity plus on both sides of the field, and I think everybody in attendance obviously witnessed a great football game, but the attendance that we had on the stream was amazing. We've had over 22,000 views. There was views in 22 different countries, 44 states. At one time, I think the most we had in there was 867, and the average view time for each of the followers on the stream was 2 hours and 42 minutes. Wow. So they logged on, they stayed in there. We went to halftime, they stayed in and supported both the bands. I thought that was very nice to see also. But overall, I thought it was just a win-win-win across the board with the way the game day was pulled off.
Yes, everybody's been very, appreciative of, what y'all have done to make this program go. And, I've talked to people all over the state, all the way up from Demopolis to Tuscaloosa to Birmingham, that was live streaming on last week. And it was a great opportunity to sell WSN in this program and what we're doing here at WSN High School.
Very good. Well, Coach, let's jump into the game a little bit. And, of course, a rivalry game. And we talked a little bit last Thursday about, you want to approach it as just any other game, try to keep the emotions as level as you can. And I thought your guys came with a great approach. Y'all seemed to be ready from a mental standpoint, executed early. You've talked so many times in contests earlier in the season, you couldn't get out of your own way. You kind of started off with a miscue here or there. It went your way early in the ball game. I thought that was probably pretty important, getting off to a good start. You certainly did that. But I'm sure it was nice to see your guys come out focused, ready to play, and get off to such a good start in a big football game.
DJ, be honest with you, we've gotten off to a good start most of in the last 2 or 3 weeks, but it was good to get off to a good start in that atmosphere on Friday night. And I used the term that we sort of don't not getting out of our own way. Nick Saban will use the term self-inflicted wounds.
Sure.
But we didn't have a lot of those. We did hurt ourselves through the course of the game, but we did get off to a pretty good start. We still had some miscues for the most part, that we can correct. Just some things that we didn't, some plays that we didn't make at times in the course of the game, and some plays that I thought, we did make some plays through the course of it. But again, those are things that we've got to continue to correct. Early on in the season, we were having the same problems as well at times, but our guys, the biggest thing is if you keep harping on it, those guys got to have the character and the mindset to correct those mistakes, that we have. And, again, I'm real proud of our kids and young men for making the adjustments that we had to make through the course of the game, which we had to make some adjustments, and thought we did that. And just real proud of our team overall. We have to have some character. I go back to day one. We first got started after we took pictures before. During the preseason, we've lost 5 kids since that point. Going all the way back from spring through the summer, we probably lost, around 10 kids overall for whatever reason that just can't get in there and get it done. We lost some kids after the Thomasville game after we had the hiccup with Thomasville, after we lost to Tallahassee and played Thomasville, and we had some kids that bit the dust during that time, just wasn't able to handle the elements of what was going on and be in it for the long haul. So these kids, that we have displayed some character because they had to fight through some adversity early on, some finding our way type adversity, and I'm real proud of our guys for that. Like I said, it's easy to fall by the wayside when things are not going well, and you just find the easy way out and quit or whatever. But our guys have weather the storm and find a way to stay in here and get it done. And the main thing, they're playing great football. They've been playing that football even when we were sitting there 0-2 after we played Tallahassee and Thomasville early in the season. We just had to find ourselves and continue to work and continue to get better. The main thing is these guys have done what I asked them to do. They've gotten better as the season went on, and that's the main thing. We want to just make sure we're playing great as the season go on and be better than we were at the beginning of the season. I think we're doing that, and that kind of helped us in the course of that game through the process of the season that we've had, playing the caliber teams we played and, just find a way to get it done. And I mean, like I said, our guys, they had some character about them and just find a way to get it done when we needed to.
One of the things that really impressed me, Coach, and you talked about the challenges that the schedule had presented through the first 9 weeks, and you kind of build that scar tissue a little bit, you get bloodied up here and there, and you find a way to persevere and keep fighting. I thought something that stood out to me that was impressive, and I think, of course, this is a reflection on you and the coaching staff, the culture that you guys are building over there. They're early in the fourth quarter, into the third quarter, when T.R. Miller took the lead 17-13. That was an opportunity to go the other way if the boys had chosen to do that. I mean, all of a sudden you can hang your head, the hands can get on the hips, and I didn't see any of that. I saw kids that were still going to suit it up and fight and line up and see how that thing shook out. You found a way to make a couple of plays there in the fourth quarter and get back control of the football game. But I'm thinking from a coaching standpoint to see that when things, like you said, when adversity does present itself, what are you going to do at that point? What choice are you going to make? And I thought collectively as a football team, your kids chose to fight, and it showed on the field, and I know you were proud to see that. Yeah,
like I said, I'm proud of my guys for maintaining during the course of that deal. We knew we had made some mistakes that hurt ourselves. I don't think we scored in the second quarter nor the third quarter at all, and we knew we had to finish some drives or make some plays and help ourselves in that note. And again, that's just part of the game, the way it swings. You're going to have swings in the game, but you got to be able to weather the storm when they come and, keep fighting, And, we thought we had not really just moved the ball consistently. That's probably the least yards we've had all year, to be honest with you, against T.R. Miller the other night. And, but the main thing is we were able to move it when we wanted to move it for the most part and find some things going our way. But, the biggest thing, we just got to know how to handle. The biggest part of that game was pretty much our specialty game. We probably played one of the best overall special team games we played all year. Not just counting because we got the turnover here and there in that game, but just being sound. Not giving anything up and let punt not be a bad play for us. And in a couple of games, I thought we let some games get away from us early on, where maybe we'd have been in the games in the second half, but we found a way to get those miscues that we've had, or those self-inflicted wounds, or not get out of our own way and snap the ball over upon our head or something like that. That makes a difference in a football game. In a hurry. So, but again, our guys fought through the adversity, and I'm real pleased for the efforts, and all the fans that were out supporting us. We need them out each and every week, like we were last week, supporting our team and supporting these young men. As they go out and compete, they play hard, and these kids been playing hard all year for the most part. And I'm just real pleased with them and all the support that we had from all over. Everybody that came out to support our program.
Very good, and of course in those rivalry games, Coach, it's usually crucial that your marquee players, your frontline players, step up and produce. I thought you got that across the board. I thought Jacoby was certainly big. Marvin Maddox certainly made his impact felt. I thought Matt Hutchins was a presence on defense. I thought Mateo was as well, and of course I thought P.J. Lovelace, the work he put in down the trenches, that oftentimes goes unnoticed from a physical standpoint. One of the few that could match up size-wise and talent-wise. I thought he more than held his own, won more than his share of the battles, and I thought those guys showing up and performing at the level they did also was a huge key in terms of that ball game going your way.
It was. Another name that you hadn't really called, but another name that's been getting better, and from start to finish. I mean, I can remember one game he wasn't even on the field, but he's gotten better. He's bought into what we're doing, and that's Cage.
Oh yeah,
man. I think he ended up having maybe 11 or 12 tackles.
Yeah, he was all over the field.
Man, he's been playing hard, especially here the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's finding himself and finding our system that we're trying to get him in, and we're able to do actually work our system, because a couple of games we had to kind of deviate from what we wanted to do on defense. But you know, he's picked his business up, and he's playing hard anyway for the most part. But he's finding a way to learn what we want him to do in our system and do a great job in his fits and all that. So he's been playing huge for us the last couple of weeks. I mean, we need to continue to get that from him here, you know, this week.
I'll tell you, another player that kind of caught my eye, and I have no idea how he graded out on film. He just kept showing up, and I thought he was very physical in his play, was Noah Hill. Yes. I thought he gave you enough in the middle to at least keep T.R. Miller honest. They had to respect it, gave you an opportunity to beat him on the edge a couple of times. But I was very impressed with Noah Hill. I know he's been a solid player all year, but I thought that he really showed up and gave you an outstanding performance also.
Yeah, Noah's been one sort of Mr. Dependable. You know, we got a lot of guys that's banged up here and there, but they're fighting through it. I told them, you know, I've been telling them the last couple of weeks, we can't be hurt this time of year.
Sure.
We can't be sitting out a game, or so to speak, or sitting out. We got to find a way to fight through the little nagging injuries that we have, and he's one that's been fighting through them here the last 2 or 3 weeks, and actually it's sort of all season. We got several guys that's like that, and you know, that's something that we can kind of help control maybe in the off season by getting their bodies prepped to be able to handle through this rigorous schedule that we have. But, you know, we're nicked and bruised all the way. We've been that way here the last 3 or 4 weeks, you know, to be honest with you. Matt Hutchins as well, Noah Hill, even Marvin Mattis has been playing great for us. We know Jacoby we sit him against the Andalusia game, so he's coming back, still bumped and bruised here and there. Ike Bonham, you know, he didn't get as many reps offensively the other night because of the style of game that it was. But, you know, he'll be one that possibly get some reps here on tomorrow night. So, but again, you know, we've had guys been fighting through nagging injuries. Even PJ had a little nagging injury 2 weeks ago in Atmore. So, you know, these guys having to fight through some injuries and help ourselves, you know, as a whole. You know, we don't have a lot of depth as a whole. You know, we having to kind of work through that deal as well, you know, and rest our guys when we can and give them some looks. But, you know, like I said, I'm real tickled with these guys. I'm thankful that they've worked the way they've worked, and my hat's off to them. I tell them all the time, love them for the efforts that they put in, because, you know, a lot of times you can easily find an easy way out, you know, in this situation. But these guys have fought, and like I said, you know, I'm just proud of them.
Very good. We're going to try something a little new here. We think we have some of those big plays from last Friday night's ball game queued up. And if you will, Coach, we're going to have the commentating turned down on it. We're kind of going to set the stage and let you talk us through it. T.R. Miller, of course, opened the game with receiving the kickoff, got the initial first down, unable to have the snap there on the punts. You had the short field to work with. I think our first play is going to be the Jacoby touchdown. Set it up, Coach.
Yeah, I think, you know, that was a formation that they hadn't really seen. They had all our films, and that was something that we hadn't really shown a whole lot of. And they ended up actually making some adjustments to what we were doing on the jet sweep through the course of the game. And we had to sort of set it back and not sort of utilize that a whole lot late. But I think it was the element of surprise early on when we needed some yards. Jacoby and Marvin actually was running a little bit of the jet and kind of hurt them for the most part.
And then our first extra point attempt that's the one he made. Okay, yeah. So good to go out there anytime you get a chance to add an extra point in a game like this. They all count, don't they?
Exactly. It makes a difference in the game overall, you know. But you know, our kid, you know, we got up early and that kind of took the off our shoulders for the most part for it being the kind of game that it was. And you know, we came down and we got a stop, I think, on defense and ended up getting the ball back. And I thought we had some opportunities on that next drive as well to make a play, which we got the turnover right there with Jacoby getting the interception there as well. And, you know, that kind of set us up in great field position as well. You know, when you're in the red zone, you got to make sure you try to finish your drives or whatever. And, you know, it kind of showed as something that we had to make sure we finished that drive overall.
The quarterback for Miller doesn't remember most of the end of the game, but I did remind him about that particular play. We talked about that one on Saturday. But, yeah, nice play there by Jacoby, making a break on the football, getting the interception, of course, setting you up with another short field, and Matt Thomas coming in for touchdown number 2. Yeah, well,
T.R. Miller defense bowled up pretty well on this drive right here. And Matt Thomas just made a great play with his legs to get us in the end zone. And, you know, that was a huge point in the game to go up 13-0. The extra point, kind of, you know, something that we got to make sure we do a better job there up front was the difference. I don't think it had anything to do with our kicker at all. It was more so having to do with our protection up front when they got in and got the block, you know. So we've addressed that matter, and we got to make sure we do a great job in our specialty game.
Matt's another one of those. Matt, they can do some things. He's a really good athlete. Plays basketball, plays baseball. Big, strong kid. I think he gives you a presence also. Manages the game, but he can has pretty good arm talent. Barely missed a couple of throws down the field, but he's a weapon.
The coaches have to remind me also, and I have to remind myself that Matt Thomas is a guy that didn't even play football last year. Yeah. And walks in here and he's one that been very dependable. But then what we're doing, he steps up to the plate. He's a student of the game. I mean, it don't take much for him to text or ask questions about, Coach, what are they doing on this play? What are they doing on film or whatever? He's a student of the game, and that's the guy you want. That's your trigger man at quarterback. We're not asking him to do a whole lot right now. We just want him to manage the football game overall. But he's taking the initiative himself to get involved and try to help us any way he can to make our team be successful. So that's what we got to have.
Going to set up T.R. Miller's first score right here. A little blast power up the interior of the defense right here, Coach. Yeah,
man, there are some bulls up front. I know that. But, again, you mentioned P.J. Lovelace up front. He's a guy that, stood tall enough for us all game on both sides of the ball. And we're blessed to have him inside, to handle all the inside interior defensively as a whole. But, man, those backs that they have are over 200 pounds. And, all the linebackers sitting in there 165 pounds, 185 pounds is not real huge to sit in there for the pressure that we were getting right at us. And we thought they were going to try to come in and just run right over the top of us. And, and that's what they actually tried to do. We just wanted to control it and try to help ourselves overall,
Then I think there towards the end of the half, T.R. Miller got the interception, got it back across midfield down there, threatening to score again. Your defense had a good stand, held them to the field goal attempt, and the Morgan kid for T.R. Miller knocks one in. I think we have it queued up as well.
Yeah, we were blessed to make sure we didn't let them get in the end zone right there before half as well, to go in at half where we were sitting. And, I told them at half that game was not nearly over for the most part. I knew they were going to make an answer back. Main thing we had to do is make sure we weather the storm and answer the bell. And when they hit us hard, to keep punching, through the course of the game. And hopefully we would get another break. And I think we actually did get another break when we made a run there in the fourth quarter early to get in the end zone there to take the lead back.
Well, I can tell you the stars were many Friday night. We've mentioned a lot of them here already, but to their counterparts equal, the band. I tell you don't ever get to watch them. The band, both bands put on amazing shows, but the WSN band put on a rock concert. I put them right up there with the Velcro Pygmies in terms of entertaining. They're one of my favorites. I think we have some of them queued up.
Look at this. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't get the opportunity, but I know we put on a show.
Johnny never did this.
Every day. We begin to work over there. I can tell you that. Okay, y'all walking with them,
Cookie Harris, where you at?
Part of it, but
we were. Yeah. Must have snuck that one in on.
That was fun. I'm gonna tell you something. I just enjoyed that. That's the most you've probably exercise you've done in like I tell you what, 10 years. I just got my cardiovascular in. That was fun.
Trent's a good kid. Ever since I've met him, when I got here, he's been one that's always. He even got us a video set up for a pep rally last week, and just real pleased to have him here. He's always a kid that's in good spirits, and we're blessed to have him on here and in our program tonight, and what he do for our band, help lead our band, and as a drum major or whatever, and just took it to have him. He's have a great attitude and tell he works hard and believes in what he's doing.
Then we coach getting second half action, get in the third quarter. McMillan makes a long run down to the 2-yard line to set up T.R. Miller's second touchdown and gave them the lead momentarily. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, they was trying to, at that point, they were sort of finding the boys or whatever through the course of the game that set up their next touchdown to actually go up on us. We knew we were still in the game for the most part. We just had to make some adjustments. We overran that play. Definitely through the course of it. When we didn't overrun it, we made the play. But you can have one missed tackle on that bunch, and they'll be out of the gate. Those backs are very, very good for Miller. They had both of them back there, 31 and 32. So you have to take good angles when you are coming up to tackle, and everything. But our kids didn't waver. Once they scored, we just had to make sure we take care of our business on the offensive side and continue to be stingy on the defensive side. And I was real proud of our guys at that point for getting the shutout the rest of the game.
Well, I thought, coming back after giving up the touchdown, sacrificing the lead for the first time, then one of your seniors, Jacoby Hawthorne, takes the punt on the far side of the field, sets you up with a short field, just flipping the field position all over again.
That's what we preached on. I think we had plenty of time before that as well. We wanted to play field position. There was no question about us punting at that time, but yes, that was a big play. And even if we'd have got a block right there, I think he might have would have scored, but we had a couple guys standing there watching instead of not getting in on a block. But we were blessed for him to make that play to get us down in the red zone and then get a chance to punch it in.
That was early in the fourth quarter. Then Marvin Maddox, another one of your outstanding seniors, comes in and finds the end zone.
Yeah, Marvin's been big for us. I told him at halftime, I said, he needs to get ready because who's going to ride him? I think he didn't have maybe 4 carries in the first half, 4 or 5 carries in the first half. And, I told him that if we get this game where we wanted to get it, we was going to ride him. And he sort of nodded his head at me and let me know that he was ready. So we had to make sure we get him the ball. He came out right there at the beginning of the third quarter. He had a little stinger that was pretty bad on him, and it's still actually bothering him now. But he found a way to fight through it, and he showed some great character by staying in the game and finishing.
2017, your score, still a one-score ball game, plenty of time left. T.R. Miller unable to handle the kickoff, get a short field again, and here comes Mr. Maddox doing what he does again.
Yeah, like I said, we was going to feed him the football the second half, and that's what we got to do to get the ball to him and Jacoby and some of those guys that we've been depending on, North Hill and Isaac Bonham and some of those, we got to get it to our playmakers the best we can, but it starts up front. If our offensive line is blocking, we sort of challenge them going into that fourth quarter. They had to finish some drives for us and take care of our business on that deal, and that's what we had to do. We had to run the football right at them, and it hadn't been many teams this year that's run the football directly in the teeth of that defense at T.R. Miller. So we knew that. But we knew we had to finish the game that way. So we had to just get what we could get. If it was but 2 or 3 yards, we needed to be running right at them to keep them honest for a little while,
Then we're going to get our little Italian in here for the all-important extra point.
Yeah,
Bartolucci.
Tommaso Bartolucci has been huge for us all year. People don't realize how huge he's been, not only just his extra points, but his kickoff. We're able to do some things on the kickoff. We actually got that onside kick, so to speak, that post kick that we got. He's able to do a lot of great things for us when I can understand what he's saying and he can understand what I'm saying. It's been kind of outrageous to try to communicate with him about what we're trying to do, and he says, down the middle. That's what he'll tell me, sometimes to make sure what I'm saying. But he's been great to have on the team. He's a great attitude, a great kid, and we've been blessed to have him. I'm going to hate to see him leave, to be honest with you.
Well, the best play in football, victory formation, and then the celebration that comes afterwards. That had to be a mighty good feeling to see the victory formation, Coach.
It is. And, we tell them that's the best play in football, always. And, I was proud of our kids and, for getting it done, finding a way to get it done late in the game, So we got to have that week in and week out, for them to find a way to get it done. Now, like I said, I was real tickled with the fact that we had to come back and get the win, So real proud of our kids for that.
Very good. 27-17, the final score. Battle of Murder Creek, 2017 in the books. WSNL evening up their record at 5-5 in the regular season. And, of course, the big one, the playoff game, first round tomorrow at Munford. Going to be a good road trip for the Blue Eagles. I know you're looking forward to a good crowd getting on the road, going with you. For those that can't go, LaDon and Mayor Clark will have it on WEBJ 1240. But I know you're hoping as many people as can get on that bus and go north.
Yeah, we need our fans in the stands. Hopefully we'll get a good group out there following us up there and getting in those stands and supporting us. At this point in the season, this is win or go home. Right. There's no next week if you don't take care of your business as a team. So, hopefully people understand the sense of urgency that we're trying to have as a team to advance. This is about advancing from here on out. And, it's not about anything else. There's half the team in the state went home last week. And they're playing basketball or whatever they got going. After this week, there'll be 16 teams left, in the state. And we want to try to be one of those teams that's left in the state. But, it's a process to getting where we're going. This is sort of uncharted territory for us to run up on a 9-1 football team like a Munford Munford team, and they played some really great competition throughout the course of the year. They're sort of a team that's hard to read for the most part on what they're trying to do, but we know they want to spread us out and try to get those skilled guys in space, and we'll have our hands full defensively. We got to be sound in all areas. We got to make sure we're sure tacklers as well, because you can miss a tackle on these guys and they'll go the distance. So we'll have our hands full. We need everybody out in the stands on their feet, supporting these young men like they were last week, and just supporting them, each and every week. Everybody got a job to do, and we're looking for those fans out to support those young men and get them going.
Very good, Coach. We're going to take a short break. Make sure you stay with us. If you're watching in, we're going to have Trent Eichner, the senior drum major for the WSN Blue Eagles, in with us. And then, Coach, you and I will catch up a little bit towards the end of the show.
That'll be good.
You are watching Go Big Blue. Stay with us. And we are back here at Camp 31 with Larry Murphy and Go Big Blue. And for those of you that are watching in, we appreciate that support. If you're in the immediate area, we invite you to come on up and catch the second half of the show, get a good bite to eat, and enjoy the fellowship here on the eve of the WSN Blue Eagles traveling north to take on Munford in the round one of the playoffs. We mentioned a little bit earlier about all the stars that were on display last Friday. None shone any brighter than the WSN band, of course, led by drum major Trent Eichner. And Trent, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come be with us tonight.
Thank you.
I need to get a couple of things out of the way, and the first thing I'm going to do is get you to give me an autograph right here.
No.
Because I was so impressed with the way you carried yourself, and I'm going to tell you how I want you to word this.
All right.
All right. To my best friend, DJ. You are a much better dancer than Tony.
Oh, man. I really need that sound block right now.
And I can't wait to jam for you again. And then you sign it. And that's going on my wall. That's what he said. That's what the autograph says. Thank you, sir. Seriously, you guys were amazing Friday. Both bands, we streamed both of them, and both bands put on a show, but you guys electrified the stadium. Everybody was obviously excited. WSN was ahead at the half. But when you guys finished, the place was on fire. And I want you to talk a little bit about that performance, being the last time in the regular season there at WSN Stadium. You've performed there many times. Just talk about that environment and how pleasing it was to be in front of the home folks.
Well, actually, when the season started out, the band, it was a slow start. But as we progressed down into the end of the game, it got better. This, last performance was probably one of the best ones we've had in a long time. It's just awesome just being on that drum major stand and listening to everyone blasting your ears, and they're under the command of you. It's awesome. Great power to have.
Now, have you been in the band each of the last 4 years in high school?
Yes. I started in my 7th grade year.
7th grade year. And were you playing an instrument at that point? Or
I played trumpet.
Played the trumpet. And then what year, how many years have you been the drum major?
This is my first year.
This is your first year. Okay. Talk a little bit about that as far as, going from the playing an instrument to actually directing the band, about that transition.
I miss playing my trumpet. I do. I miss playing my trumpet, but I like this. It's an awesome experience, though.
Well, I heard a couple of weeks ago y'all were at a contest in Opp and almost didn't have enough room on the bus to bring back all the trophies and awards that you guys picked up over there. That was exciting to hear, and talk about the competition season and how the band performed in that as well.
Yeah, we did awesome at competition. I think I brought home like 4 awards, and we got best in class, superior ratings. We did really good. We did awesome.
Talk about the big game tomorrow. Looking forward to getting on the bus and heading to Munford.
Ooh, it's a long ride. It's a long ride.
It'll be a fun ride back. We'll go up there and get it done.
Yeah, I'm excited.
The band director, Kim Waller, was actually a classmate of mine back in the day. We went to school together. Talk a little bit about her leadership and how much effort and energy she puts into the band.
Ms. Waller is awesome. She is like a great musician. Like, she's hands-on with us. She's like loving. The band is more like a family. It's not the band. It's not the band. It's like the family. It's people that you lean on, and she leads a tight ship, but she's awesome. I love her to death.
Talk a little bit about your experience the last 4 years, just being a student at WSN, obviously being a senior this year, what it means to be a senior, and just some of the good times you've had there at the schoolhouse the last several years.
I've had some awesome times at the high school. What it means to be a senior.
Went by quick, didn't it?
It went by fast.
What are your plans after graduation? Any idea what you might be doing this time next year?
Well, recently I got accepted to Troy, so I plan on marching with them.
Getting the trumpet back out.
Hey.
I'll tell you what, another powerful band. I'm sure you've probably heard them play a time or two, but they can put it out there also.
Yeah, they can. Well, concert season, I also play my trumpet too also.
Okay. Talk a little bit about, and we talked about this a little bit earlier in the year, and sometimes the football team, it's very easy to see them out practicing and lifting weights or whatnot, and the cheerleaders are doing their thing as well. You guys put in as much work during the summer as any group on campus at every school. Talk a little bit about the summer workouts and the summer band practices and how much time it takes to be a member of the band.
Well, like I said, when we start in July, it's a rough start. It is a rough start, but it progresses. It gets better, once we get on into the season. It starts off rough because you got to get your music together. You got to learn your spots on the field. So it's a lot to go into it, not only during the summer, but after school every day. So it's a lot.
Very good. Is there a teacher or two along the way through your educational career that stand out to you that you have very fond memories of that you'd like to share?
Miss Jessica James.
How about that?
Miss Valissa Burnham. That's my librarian this year. So
okay.
Those are some great supporters in my life, and they make sure I get everything straight.
Certainly love all our teachers and anybody that works with our young folks, and of course you mentioned the band director Kim Waller and the job that she does there, and the way she invests in all of you and the band's excellence, and of course has certainly gotten it. And we talked about y'all's ability to get out there and perform and what y'all add to the contest. I don't know if you're aware of this or not. We streamed the game last week for people to watch that couldn't be there, but we also did the band shows in its entirety.
I seen you.
Yeah. Well, nobody. We didn't lose anybody on the viewers. They stayed. Oh, he saw me. Well, you shouldn't have. Oh, you shouldn't have seen me. That shouldn't have happened. That was one of those. What do they call it?
Enjoying yourself, so.
I'm not sure what I was doing, to be honest with you. I think they called it the prep back in the day, but my version was a little different. But, yeah. But it's anyway, it was a good time. I wouldn't have been doing it if I hadn't been feeling the beat. So indirectly, you're responsible because you had me moving. Well, you never know. There was certainly a lot of hamburgers and hot dogs up there, I can tell you that. Snicker bars. But Trent, I appreciate you coming in and spending some time with us. Wish you all the luck in the world as you move forward and
thank you.
With your educational career and hopefully playing there in the band at Troy. And you've been an inspiration to so many of us. And you're a leader in every sense of the word. And good luck to you tomorrow. And have safe travels, of course. And good luck the rest of your school year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Trent Eichner, senior band drum major for the WSN Marching Band, spending a little time with us. We appreciate that. We're going to take another short break. When we come back, we'll have Coach Andrew Thomas back, talking a little bit more, Andrew Williams back, talking a little bit more about Munford in the first playoff game and kind of getting that squared away. So make sure you stay with us. Go Big Blue. And we are back with Go Big Blue, and of course, just got through visiting with Trent Eichner, and of course, I got what I came for, and that's the autograph right there. Tony doesn't have one, I do. That'll be a prized possession for me that I look forward to hanging on to. And Coach, we talked about it a little while ago, just an outstanding young man in a lot of different ways. Obviously, a very strong leader there in the band, and he's a great ambassador and representative of WSN High School.
Yes, like I said, from day one, he was one that just had a great attitude about himself, and just really impressed with his mentality, and what he brings. He's going to be a great leader, and he's going to be successful after he finished school here at WSN High School. So we're glad to have him on, and he was a little nervous. He wanted me to tell you, don't ask him any questions about football, because he ain't had a clue. I think he would have been able to handle it. They were practicing today and everything, so I enjoy his attitude and his mentality and everything. He's a good kid.
Of course, going up tomorrow, 9-1, Munford, the opponent in round one. You got to beat them all, I guess, to get there. I think that there's been a little bit of history in years past with WSN and Munford hooking up in the playoffs. Offensively, what are they going to try to do to attack the WSN defense?
Well, like I said, they want to spread the field and get those skilled guys in space that they have. The quarterback is a guy that's he wants to manage the game, but he can hurt you with his legs as well. They got a little mixture of a little bit of everything in the spread. They can get into the where they read some read option stuff. They also can run some counter GT stuff at you, as well as throw a lot of tunnel screens and that kind of thing. So, we got to defend the entire field. It's not about in the box. Like last week, it was more in the box, defending what they were doing. And week before last, this week, they're back spreading out. It's sort of like trying to defend the Andalusians or somebody like that. We hadn't seen a lot of teams that just spread you out all over the field consistently and try to beat you, all year. So this is a great challenge for us. We're going to need to use some of the things that we used this summer during 7-on-7 to kind of help us out in defending it. They want to still run the football as well, and it's going to be a great challenge for us. We got to have enough people in the box to stop the run against their little running back that they have. He's a guy that's pretty nifty and pretty fast that'll make you miss. So in that time, we're going to have to get people out to help defend all over the field. So it's going to be a great challenge, man. We look forward to it. It should be a fun atmosphere. We got to make sure we do the things that we talked about all year, which is limiting the big play. Try not to give up a big play and make sure we're sure tacklers. And if we do that, we should give ourselves a chance on the defensive side of the ball. We've been playing better defense here as of lately. But again, this goes back to changing the game of what we've been seeing here the last 2 or 3 weeks. So, it's going to be a great challenge. And, we need it to just rain like 100% tomorrow all day. And that would probably help. I was telling my wife earlier, we just need it to rain all day and all night. And that would help us. I would like our opportunity during that, if it was to do that. But, again, we got to stand up to the plate and take care of our business.
How big are they physically to a band?
I think they got the same kind of guys across the offensive front, around 245, something like that, 235, 245. They're not overly huge, but they got some physical guys. Their linebackers are as good as they come. Like I said, they have a receiver that's split out there. That's a 4-4 guy that's ran 4-4 at the Alabama and Auburn camp. So,
sure.
He's pretty legit. He's gonna have some major offers for us over. So, again. Then the running back is not a big guy, but he can make you miss and he'll hurt you, So this team I think they'll mix it up and get physical with you, overall. But again, I don't know how consistent they've had it. Most of the teams in their area have had spreading it out and trying to get the ball in space and everything. But, we're a team we try to do a little bit of that, but for the most part, we want to run the football and pretty much run it right at you. And, I don't know how physical they'll be for an entire game if we was to do that. So, like I said, it should be a great matchup overall. I think they have some advantages, whereas we might have an advantage here and there. So we just got to make sure whoever make the most plays and whoever the better sound football team on the defensive side and the special team part of the game, that's the team that'll be successful, at the end of the day.
One of the things that was very impressive to me last week about your football team, especially on the defensive side, is how well you tackled the football. I thought you rallied at the ball extremely well. There was a lot of blue helmets around the ball consistently. McMillan got loose one time. And, of course, he got a lot of carries, and to limit him to only one, one time jumping out of there, I thought spoke very highly of your guys, and I thought you were very sound tackling the football last week.
Yeah, it's probably the best defensive effort we've had in a while. We played great defense last week. I think, like I said, we held Escambia County to a -2 yards for the whole game.
Wow.
You know, besides the last run, I know we didn't do a lot of talking about them last week, but we held them to -2 yards for the entire game. And besides the last run of the game, they still had negative yards that the quarterback scored on the last play of the game. So I guess our backup guys. But, you know, here's lately, we've been doing a little bit better job defensively. We try to hold them accountable for the missed tackles. And, you know, it's going to be imperative tomorrow that we do it, that we do a great job tackling. We missed probably about 12 tackles, and probably 6 of them was on one play trying to tackle Big 31 McMillan last week. And, you know, our kids, you know, we've got, like I said, we got to get in that weight room and try to help ourselves and get stronger and physical. And, like I said, we've gotten better overall with our tackling defensively. We try to hold them accountable. We make them pay for those missed tackles when they get back on the next week. And they picked it up since then, I feel like they have. And, you know, we just need a great effort. We have a great plan defensively. We got to make sure we do a great job of executing it on all levels and not giving up the big play. Even when they throw it out in space to those receivers they have.
I'll tell you something else that I think bodes well for you and your football team tomorrow as y'all make the trip to North Alabama. We have talked several times about your schedule and the teams you have played. They're not going to be any better than Carroll. They're not going to be any better than Andalusia. They're not going to be any better than UMS. They're certainly a quality football team, could certainly be mentioned in the same breath as those teams have been mentioned. But you've kind of been there and done that. You've competed with those teams at different intervals during the contests you had with them to find a way to put it together for 4 quarters. You're liable to be right there with it and get that thing done. It's just being consistent, like you talked about, in your execution and doing the little things, being sound and strong in the special teams, and that thing could very well go your way tomorrow. I hope it does.
Well, we hope so. Like I said, the biggest part of it is handling our business early. I think Tallahassee early in the season when they played them, I think it was around week 4 maybe, they had a kickoff, opening kickoff. They kick it off to them and they return it back for a touchdown. I mean, that's some things we can't let happen. Right. I mean, you know, if we get into that kind of game with them, you know, we can't survive that way. So we got to be sound in that part of the game. They're explosive. I mean, you kick it to either one of those guys deep, and they'll take it to the house, as well as on the punt team. You know, so we've got to do the little things in that phase of the game to help ourselves, as well as offensively try to move the ball and knock out first downs to keep their offense off the field. And when we go out there on defense, try to play bend but don't break defense, and try to limit them to some mistakes they might make to give us a nugget or something that we can get a turnover. So.
Very good. Well, Coach, we're going to wind things up here tonight. It's going to be an early day tomorrow. I think the Blue Eagles planning on leaving around 11 o'clock from campus, headed north. And, of course, that'll be a long road trip. And certainly wish all you guys safe travels coming and going. And wish you the very best of luck tomorrow in round 1. Hope you get it done. We'll come back next week and do it again.
Man, we appreciate it. Appreciate all that y'all do to make this show go. And, you know, all our fans out there that's loyal to what's going on and then supporting our kids, you know, we appreciate all that, you know, as a whole.
Very good. Blue Eagle fans, get on the road tomorrow, follow the Blue Eagles, support them, go up and get a big win, and we'll come back next week with Go Big Blue. For Coach Andrew Williams, executive producer Ken James, myself, David Jennings, this has been Go Big Blue. Good night.
Watching Go Big Blue. Tune in each week as we keep you up to date on the Blue Eagles. Until next week, Go Big Blue.